On Christmas Eve, I had a minute, I think shortly before dinner, to scroll through X slash Twitter to catch up on it because I really don't spend too much time on X. And I had been to scroll through an old post, well, December 11th from Frost Dragonheart from Bake Nation. And I was going to start typing a reply to it, but, it was Christmas Eve and I didn't want to sit there on my phone. Obviously, I could do it later, but I decided to just make a quick video answering his question from December 11th. And he posts, if Capcom actually does do something with the older Monster Hunters for the 20th anniversary, do you think it would be better if they were left untouched, or should they make little changes here and there, like adding item sets for our convenience? So part of this was the reason why I wanted to do it this way too, because it was actually a video I actually wanted to make. I said actually twice. But it was an older video idea I've had for a while about a Monster Hunter remake idea I had. And I'm pretty sure I'm not original. Maybe someone else has thought of this too. But I had two, and it was going to be just way too much to type. So to answer the question, number one, I had this idea for, I wanted them to remake Monster Hunter 1 in this style of, like, not the grindy Monster Hunter we all know, but something a little more like cinematic, story driven game. And I wanted to call it Monster Hunter Heroes of Kokoto. And I was thinking it would be based off, I think, there was only 8 weapons originally in the very first Monster Hunter, and there were going to be like 8 characters. And you would basically, the story would kind of center around this one kid where his town was thrashed by the Lao-Shan Lung as it was running from Fatalis, right? I think that's the actual story. So I was thinking like the story of the main protagonist would be this kid who grew up and he moved to Kokoto, but before that he lived in another town that just got taken over, trampled over by Lao-Shan Lung. And basically the story would follow him as he joins another group of hunters from Kokoto. And the story would progress and I was like thinking, no, I mean, minimal customization, maybe minimal weapons, but basically the characters, the 8 main characters kind of all have the weapons that you have. They have the great sword guy, the sword and shield guy, and I think it would center it around a sword and shield guy because eventually he would get the village elder's great sword and shield that you pull from the side, and that would be the whole, like I said, hero of Kokoto. He would be the main hero, whoever the kid is. But I wanted to have it like with 8 characters, and they all have the certain weapons, and you kind of play through the game through each character. And as they go through specific different hunts, like one would be the first guy who hunts the velociraptors, and then as it progresses, eventually one gets to the Rathalos, Kazoo, whatever. But they would tie the characters together, all going to the end when they have to face the Lao-Shan Lung together, all 8 of them. And I was thinking like it could be like a story, a single player game, or something that would be multiplayer. I have no idea how Capcom would do it, where you get to play all 8 characters. But I was thinking something a lot like that. I was thinking something more simple, just a single player game that was get people interested in the Monster Hunter story. Was one of the ideas I had. It was an idea I had for them to make, period. But I was like, hey, that'd be cool if they did that for the 20th anniversary. And the other idea I had, which kind of goes more to his post, which is like the changes, is I'd like to see them re-release Monster Hunter with all of the quality of life changes like you mentioned, with adding item sets or armor sets and everything else that made navigating skills and menus a little bit easier. Although maybe some people would say that they're not as easy with the recent games. But on top of those quality of life changes, what I'd really like to see them do is kind of like how Nintendo re-released F-Zero, and it seemed to be more of their pure vision with 100 racers. It's a giant race with 100 people going at it. Is I'd also kind of like to see it with Monster Hunter and the Lao-Shan Lung. They kind of got it with Zora Magdaros with all the NPCs running around, but I kind of wanted to see a reimagined Lao-Shan Lung hunt where basically all of us get to kind of get in there, and timing matters. And it really feels like all of us are kind of really teaming up to help out to take out this big dragon. So that's basically the biggest idea I had, whereas I'd like to have an honest to God real Lao-Shan Lung experience where we're all terrified that this giant, dragon is going to just come stumbling through and just tear our whole fortress apart. And all of us are working in together, like all the hunters in the village come together, or in the neighboring towns all come together to beat this big old dragon. So that was like the biggest suggestion or a thing I thought of that I'd like to see for the 20th anniversary. I know a lot of people don't like the Lao Shan hunt or they think it's boring, but it was literally one of the biggest things that ever drove me to Monster Hunter was the fact that like the original trailer showed the Lao-Shan Lung standing on his hind legs, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to try to do that. Like this game's got me, and I gotta play it. So I've always wanted to see Capcom make an honest, like I guess, siege hunt that was like where we're all involved. I know they kind of try to do it with the Koltaroth and Safi Jiva, where all 16 of us are in there. But I wanted to see something a little bit more, yeah, a little where the sense of urgency is there. We're all gonna work together. Come on, guys, get to Canada at the right time. You pull the dragon into this, like that whole. I don't know. It doesn't feel like Capcom's ever really nailed that, and I'm hoping that would be something they do someday, or that would be something I'd like to see for the 20th anniversary. Both my ideas are highly not likely, but I just wanted to answer this. I just wanted to put this out there because it'd be way too much for me to type, and instead I'll just make a video where I edit a whole lot and take a whole lot of time doing that. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video really fast, and I also wanted to pop in here and say Merry Christmas to everyone, and I hope you have a good one, and hopefully I'll have more videos out shortly. They're taking a lot of work. I got a lot of people working together with me on them. So anyway, again, Merry Christmas, and hopefully I'll see you guys before New Year's or around New Year's.